Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Jill and Peg, and this is about volunteer rescue, the essentials you need to know. You're going to cover the web volunteer rescue and the app. Okay? Over to you, and I'll just stay here in case you need help.
And before you do that, and there was one thing I forgot to mention when I was doing the honorable mentions from the various hours things, and that was that on the top 10 Ironman, I neglected to mention that for the first time probably in our history, 4 of the top 6 were women. Yay! Woo! So that, we used to only call it the Ironman in the past, and so of the top 6 people, Tim, Peg, Denise, Bob, Dondi, and Jennifer. Top 6, 4 women, 2 guys. So I thought that was an important fact that I neglected to mention.
Right.
Yeah. First ever. Well, we actually changed the plaque name. It used to just say Ironman, and now we did actually update this. It says Ironman Woman Award, because actually I'm on here a couple times already. Yeah, so anyway, just wanted to mention that, but I forgot to mention it. And that was very cool, so I thought.
So Peg and Jill, why don't you have 1 minute of what volunteer rescue is for the newbies?
Well, first she has something else.
Just a couple little housekeeping things. Heidi has requested that if you're looking for some Asarco 2 patches and tracker rockers, just let her know by email if you need some more patches. Some of these. That's when you're a tracker, you have that little stripe, right?
These are rockers, like this.
I don't think I have one.
No, but it's a rock. It's a VSAR. It's a VSAR rocker.
If we had our normal shirts, you would see that rocker down there. So if you need some additional patches, to send her an email because she's in the process of ordering some more. And then Denise is cleaning out her house of holiday decorations. And there's a box over there. If there's anything you're interested in, take it. That's it for the housekeeping.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so just to give a quick introduction to VR, or volunteer rescue, VR is how we refer to it. It's a software package or a software system that we started using, gosh, 2 or 3 years ago now, Heidi? I can't remember.
Getting on to 3.
Going on 3 years now. We started out using it just for VSAR and just for our dispatching of our callouts. In other words, it has a callout system, as a lot of you saw tonight. We get texts. We get emails, we get phone calls when the deputies need to do a call out. But we did start out with it with our own members doing the dispatching, but using volunteer rescue. After the first year or so, all the units within YCSO search and rescue, in other words, the units that are on the other side of the hill, as we like to say, the Prescott units, the G Posse, YCSRT, and all their units, backcountry, dog unit, 4x4, all those units now use the same system. We're all on the same system. And it is basically, it is not just a call-out system. It's a call-out system, but it is also a full record-keeping data system, if you will. It has complete records for certifications, which is required for our volunteer coordinator, Dee Dee, and for all of us to maintain what the certs are. And we'll be showing you a few things about that tonight. But it is a full administrative system that supports search and rescue. The software is actually written by a guy that's in search and rescue up in British Columbia. So it's specifically written for search and rescue, and it's actually an amazingly powerful system. So that's just kind of, and now that we've been using it for quite some time, again, we're into our 3rd year now for VSAR. But what we're going to try and accomplish tonight, a little bit hopeful, I guess, but we want, VR was designed as a system that you self-maintain as members. Members do their own work in the system. They maintain their own certifications. They maintain their own personal contact information, emergency contact information, their availability, and their hours in attending different events and registering for events. We at VSAR, we being mostly Heidi, with me behind the scenes there, and more recently Jill, and even more recently Don getting involved in this also, we have been covering for VSAR. We've been doing a lot of the work that the system really, the developer really expected you guys to be doing for yourself. And I will say that some of the other units are doing a better job than our members are. They've really embraced the system, and they're doing their own certifications, their own check-in and out. So tonight's goal is to really show you what the system can do and to ask for your assistance in starting to maintain all the data that is related to you, and you can certainly come to us for help anytime, but to really step up and try and take care of that. That's our goal tonight for doing this training. Okay?
And it isn't that hard, guys.
It's not that hard.
You do not have to be a super techie geek. It's
Right.
not that hard.
So Tim, if I want to call up VR, oh no, I guess we'll go to the slide first. So let me go to here. We'll do the slide first, then we'll call up VR. Okay, so a couple of things. As Tim mentioned briefly, there is a browser version. This is something you do on the computer or on a tablet or on your phone, but it's going to be really hard to read. It's meant for a full screen. A web browser that is really the full-throated system that has a tremendous amount of information available to it. And there's an app. A lot of you saw the app tonight when we got the call out. You heard our dings going off. You heard, and I showed a couple of you a few things on that. We're going to cover both tonight. We're going to talk about the web browser and what you can do on that. And then we're going to talk about the app. And we're really going to focus on the app on how to do your check-in and check-out and how to do some of the other things to try and get that data as accurate as we can. Because that, as I said earlier, that data for especially check-in, check-out, that all drives records for the command staff at YCSO. And it drives our Ironman calculations and just our knowledge of our hours commitment from our members, which is an important aspect of a volunteer organization. So we're really going to spend a little bit of time on that. So first we're going to talk about the browser. Newer members, you guys are actually a step ahead of our older members because you had to learn the browser version in order to take some online courses to pass the SAR Basic Academy. That's only happened in the last year. Prior to that, Academy was all done in person. Now we have online courses for prerequisites before you can go to the Academy. It covers some computer taught in an online course. And when you take that course, it records your certification when you do that. So those of you that are newer are probably more comfortable with the browser version than some of our other members who haven't had much opportunity or need to go to the browser yet. But this is just a quick list of, and I'm not going to stay on the slide long at all, but these are the things we're going to be covering. And the reason it's in here is so that when you have a hard copy of the minutes, you can refer back to this to remind you that these are the things we have in the browser version. Okay, so with that, I want to call up, if you can call up the screen. We're actually going to go into the browser. We've already signed in using our user ID and password we get when you first join. Okay? Can you guys see that, Heidi?
Not yet, it's coming.
Okay.
There it is. Yes.
Okay, so I'm already logged in as you would log in. On the handout or on the slide that's in the presentation, I do have the URL, the web address that's there, because that's the first thing you need to get into the system, obviously. When you first become a member, I believe Dee Dee is sending out now a letter that gives you that URL information and a brief introduction to the volunteer rescue system. But once you sign in, this is the first thing you see. It's called your dashboard, okay? First thing I really want to talk about, a couple of housekeeping features, if you will. The way volunteer rescue works is the menu is on the right-hand side. YCSO navigation, and we have these different picks here. Secondary links, they're all clickable. And then the main pages are on the left side. If you're working on a small device, a tablet or possibly a phone, which is not great, you can actually hide the navigation bar by clicking on the hide and show it. So that does give you a little bit more real estate. Another quick comment, if you are working on a phone for the browser, if you turn it to landscape mode, instead of using your phone like this, you turn it like sideways, you actually can read it better also. Just little tidbits to be aware of. But in general, your navigation is down this left-hand side, your menus, if you will. The first one I want you to be fully aware of is one that we call resources. On the resources page, when you click on that, it opens up some stuff here, but more importantly, it opens up the full page to the left here. What you're going to find is a wealth of information here. We strongly recommend that you first get on here and look at all this stuff. Now, hopefully by the groupings, you'll see which ones apply to you and which ones don't. First grouping is, and first of all, everything's clickable. So when you hover and you see it turns into the finger, that means you can click on it. The management teams. Heidi actually maintains a list of all of the SAR units and who their managers are. So you can get to that online. Who the ASARC instructors are. Procedures. How to, if you are a training or you're doing training of any kind, how to request a training number. So these are more administrative type things. A link of all sorts of trainings, which are also listed over here as training links. And that actually takes you, one of the links takes you to our YouTube training channel also. So it's a great way to see, is there training for Gaia or training for Avenza, for example, or some other things out there. But this is the one I want you to focus on first. How to use volunteer rescue for all members. That would be you, okay? Step-by-step instructions for using the VR app on your main device and the web browser version on your computer. It covers both, okay? So, and what you're going to find here is there's 3 different documents. You'll notice as I hover, I get to the blue link, if you will. How-to members, and we say when it's been updated. How-to members opens up a PDF or a printout that has detailed instructions on how to use volunteer rescue for a member. So tonight, we're not going to take you through every step of the way. We are going to expect you to go back and look at this and get familiar with this, print it off, and learn it so that it becomes second nature for you, okay? It tells you how to configure the app, how to get the app, and the first parts of this, we kind of did 2 things here. Some people work better with just text to tell them what to do. Others need all the pictures, so this has both. The first couple pages are really just the quick, kind of the read through. If you kind of know what you're doing, a quick reminder of what all the things are. How to view callouts, how to respond, how to view members, check in, how to do a registration, how to update your availability. All things that you can do. In this case, they're all on the app. And then the browser, how to log in, how to view callouts. Sorry, I'm scrolling a lot there. How to read mission records, how to look at all members. And by members, we're talking not just VSAR, but you have access to all the search and rescue members. So if you're on a joint mission with Backcountry and you need to call Larry and you don't have his number, yes you do. You have it on the app and you have it in the browser. If you need to contact Keith Slay and you don't have his number, Deputy Slay, guess what? It's in VR. You have it. Just have to, it's on the app, view the membership. You can actually call them right from the app, or you can email them right from the app, things like that. Registration, how to look at that, calendar, and availability. So the first couple pages are just a recap of the things you can do and quick bullets on how to do it, kind of reminders. And then for those that are learning the first time or do better with screenshots, the same information now in more detail, showing you what the screens look like and what you're setting, how to view the callouts, how to respond to the callout. So very detailed. And I can't thank Heidi enough for putting this all together. She's a wizard at presentation material like this and documentation. And so it really takes you through all of these different things that we'll be talking about. How many of you are aware of the resources page on the browser? How many have never seen it? Yeah. And if more people were here, a lot more hands would have been up.
How many who are aware have actually really dug into it?
Couple? Yeah, a few people. Okay, good. And especially newer people, as I said, the ones that kind of got introduced to this right away. And as Jill said, it's not that hard, but it is, a lot of people are, you got to learn some things, and you have to be not afraid. And one of the things we recommend you do is you go into the browser and you just look around and check things out.
So an example is, I get a call that says, I got a new iPhone and I don't have the app anymore.
How do I get it?
How do I get it? I wanted to say, go here.
Go to the and you will from now on.
And read this.
It's
This
on
I
here.
just helped them. But it's there. So it's those kinds of things. And it does a better job than me probably explaining it verbally.
Right.
Because it's going to be more detailed.
And let's see, to close this, let's see, I gotta find you got so much stuff open here. Yeah, so what do we gotta do here? And I'm not as familiar with the Mac. How do I get back to the, just at the back, yeah, this.
You want to
That
Just
opened
go
up,
back
that
to
opened
the-
up,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just,
okay,
There you
there,
go. Got
okay,
it.
thanks, okay.
there.
Yeah, Tim's here, he got it. Okay, so
Okay.
that was, yeah, so that was the how to, this is under the how to use volunteer rescue for all members. That was the how-to members. We just call it how-to for members, basically. But you're also gonna find another neat little page that talks about the VR calendar comparison that shows you what you can, what, the difference between the app and why you want to go to the web browser. There's a really good quick recap of that. And then how to view certifications and how to enter your own certifications. And we'll be covering that more in a little bit of detail here. We also have on this resource page a lot of our standard forms. You need a reimbursement form, guess what? Here's the most recent, the current form. You need a roster to print, a blank roster, they're here. 214s, they're here. We are using the system to maintain most current form for anything. So if Dee Dee does change something or the deputies change something, we'll update VR with the current form. So this is a good thing to be aware of. As well as for those of you that are ASARCA instructors, how to fill out the ASARCA task books, the instructions. How to fill out a roster with instructions. So if you're fairly new to doing trainings and you don't know how to do it, guess what? There's help here. And then the rest of it is really for those of us that are dispatchers or trainers, that are the ones that are setting up the events in volunteer rescue, that are doing the behind the scenes work. And those are the instructions that we're putting in for them. So you're certainly welcome to look at it if you're curious, in case you ever want to volunteer to get more involved in doing some administrative work, that'd be great. But for now, it is only certain people have access to this information. So I can't stress enough this resource page. Please, please, please get familiar with it and refer to it. Let's see, what's the right wording?
Use it.
Use it or lose it, right?
And
Use
and
it,
we promise to
Yeah.
let you know when
Yeah.
additional items are added,
right.
so that you know that we've covered.
And if there's something we haven't covered that you think would be really helpful, and I'm sure Heidi would be more than willing to do another one. And that's why we put an updated on here, new content or updated or something like that, because we do realize, oh, we didn't really cover this very well. Let's clarify something or add another section. Okay, so that is the best place to go for both the browser and the app. Okay, just to be clear. Any questions on the resource page? Okay, so with that, let's now go back to my dashboard. And I'm signed in, by the way, not as me, but I'm signed in with we have a test user ID that's just like a regular user, because my ID is, I'm a system admin, so I've got way more stuff on my menu, and same with Jill.
So normally you would go to this and it would have your picture up
This would-
there and
yeah, it
stuff.
would be
That's your
this.
dashboard, that's your
And it would have your information, right, your email address. If you change your email addresses, guess what? Put a new one in the system. If you change your phone, get a new phone and a new number, guess what? It's up to you to update it.
Did it change today?
Yeah, all right, yeah. Address, your emergency contact. Put that in. There's data in there that's helpful for the deputies, helpful for Dee Dee, helpful for us.
You can't screw up, guys, because
Yeah.
we don't give you access to things that would be problematic.
Right.
So what you have access to edit and change,
Have at it.
have at it.
Please, maintain it.
We'll
Don't
do
send-
some verification,
Yep.
working behind the scenes, but you don't have to worry about screwing up the system.
Right. So for example, just because we're right on my dashboard, one of the things it has here is the availability for the next 7 days. Well, so the whole point of availability here is so that you don't get that call out at 2 in the morning if you're away in Hawaii and you don't want to get a call. Ernie?
Do people really use that?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And what we've been doing for you is people send us an email saying, I'm going to be gone, and we put it in for you. No, you're going to put it in. Okay?
Actually, that's one of the areas I noticed that other units do much better than we do.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always seen like two crossing.
Yeah, the problem, guys, is
People are out of
you have had Heidi and Peg doing this for you. The other
For a couple
units
years.
didn't have that.
Right.
So they learned how to do it themselves.
Yeah. That's why we have so many hours on admin.
Basically, if you're gonna be out of town on vacation, you want us to log in.
Absolutely. And you can do it on the app, on your phone, or you can do it here. They're both availability, and just to show you here, update availability. This will kind of give you an idea of how things work. Now, there are several different ways you can do availability. We request that you only use one of these, and that is the extended, this is kind of the extended period. And it's a little different on the app than it is on the browser.
It's
this
the top one.
It is the top one here.
Yes,
okay,
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah, so leaving that and returning that. It doesn't have a time, so it assumes if you're leaving on Wednesday, January 12th, that means starting at 1 minute past midnight on the 12th, if a call out comes out, you won't get it. You won't even get texted or called or anything. And returning at means that you will be on the call out list starting at 1 minute past midnight the next day. So they are inclusive. These are the days that you will not be called out. So just update it with whatever days you're gone. If you're only gone for 2 days, put in 2 days. If you're gone for 2 weeks, absolutely put in 2 weeks. It helps the deputies to know why you're not responding or how many people are really available. And it certainly cuts out
Well,
unnecessary
you've probably
calls.
seen that little symbol next to their names, it means they're unavailable.
They filled in the calendar.
They filled
Yep.
that in.
Okay, so absolutely, and again, it's here on the web browser and it's also on the app. There are many features that are available on either one of the two, but there are way more features available on the web browser that are not available on the app. The only one that's on the app, that's on the browser, is check-in, check-out. You can only do that on the app. We can fix it on the browser, but you cannot fix it on the browser. You can only do it through the app. Okay? So that was just an example of the availability, and when you finish it, you would save it if I made it. So you saw, when you first came in here, I think you saw that I had a few days. I'm gonna move this back to the 10th. And throughout VR, you can use the calendar, which lets you pick the calendar. You can just type the darn thing in, whatever's easier. So if I say I'm gonna be gone from the 10th to the 15th, just changing the dates here, I would save it. And now you see a lot more red. I just changed it, and anyone else can see that also. And any time of a call out, this user would not get that call out. Okay, the other things you'll see just on your dashboard is you have your emergency contact information filled in. And again, this is so that any of us can go look at this. Any of you can see anybody's dashboard. You can't update it, you can only update your own, but you can see anybody. So by putting in emergency contact, in the unfortunate case where we need to contact somebody, it sure would be nice to have it right here, very visible. Upcoming events, this is kind of coming off the calendar, and you can register right from there also. Many different ways to register, but this is one of them. And then in this case, you would see a recap of your attendance down here. Now this poor schmuck tester doesn't do anything. Plus we just moved it to this year, so there's not much out there yet anyway. But anyway, that's all on the dashboard. We don't use On-Call Planner. Under View, this is an important one for you to be aware of, because what this will give you is a little bit more stuff up here. Shows us some other stuff we have on information, like how long you've been a member and stuff like that. But more importantly, it has all the certifications, that we have. In this case, not many, because it's a test user again. But you'll see the heading is certifications, and they'll be grouped together here. FEMA courses, when did you take them? SAR Basic, ASARCA 2, ASARCA 3, First Aid, ropes, technician, whatever you have. Yep.
So I'm taking, I got an email notification the other day, my driver's,
Yep.
my insurance
Yep.
is, coming due
Yep,
in
we're-
February. You want me to put that in there?
Absolutely, and we're going to show you that. Yep.
Yeah.
And I will say, back when we first went on VR 3 years ago, and we didn't really announce anything. All we were planning to do was use this for callouts, but we had to give everyone access to it. A few of our members went in right away and put it. We never said a word about it. They just, search, add, okay, expiration, okay. They just put it in.
They must want
It's easy. It's not hard.
No.
Okay, at all. And I'll take you through that because there's a few things that you can learn about hovering and how to get more data on that.
But this is great. You'll see how long you've been here, all the things that you've done, all right there for you. I'm not sure we're gonna do reports, but you can actually create a report
Yeah,
for
I won't.
yourself. It's all right there. You will know everything that's going on in your past. when it
And
comes
if
to
you have
VR.
expiring certs, they'll show up right here also.
Yeah.
Don?
One thing, like with my recent address change, although we can do these things, is there some things Heidi or you guys need to know that we change that would need to be changed elsewhere by CSO?
Whether or not Dee Dee needs a record of that, maybe? If someone changes their address, do you just want to use VR for that, Dee Dee? You're muted, yeah. You're still muted. There you
Say
are.
that again.
Yeah, you were busy doing stuff. Don's question was, if anyone has, does any changes to their address or their emergency contact or their phone or whatever, is that anything you need to know, or can they simply put it into VR and you would use that to get the information? Do you need a notification?
Actually, I need to know that something has changed because there's a true form that YCSO requires,
Okay,
a hard copy form that also has to be completed. And in fact, it's that time of year where I'll be sending that request out to all the members.
okay,
Maybe I'll do it through VR, but that form has to be completed because so often people will change something and then they never advise us, or they try to do it through an email, and YCSO requires this form to be completed because it's hard copy filed in dispatch.
okay. So the form will tell us what fields matter, like address, phone number, whatever it is that matters. Okay. But so certainly immediately make the change in VR so that we have that information, your email, especially your phone number for where you get the call outs. Right? You want that to go to your new phone, or you don't, maybe. But then Dee Dee will send us that information. So again, this is just on my dashboard. I mean, dashboard and view are the two you use. And if you do need to make your own changes, you hit edit. And that's how you would now go in. And now in the edit mode, you have different tabs here to take you to the different data fields. Emergency contact information. You can put in who your contact is and who your emergency is. Your personal data, what is your, you don't need to fill in date of birth unless you want to, it's not required. But your name, obviously, and your.
And that's a point there, you see where the little red stars are?
Yeah, those are the required.
That's what we consider required.
Yeah. So because even though the system requires date of birth, we certainly don't expect you to put it in. So everyone that doesn't put it in is born on January 1st of 2000. So you're all young.
So you'll notice that we have a lot of people born
Yeah,
in that year.
right, yeah. So, but some people are putting their real ones in. But anyway, and to do, while we're here, we might as well do the certifications. So let's go to the certifications. This shows you, basically the way VR works throughout is there's different levels of tabs, if you will. So in this case, the first, I'm on my user ID where I could do personal details, emergency contact, availability, or certifications, or general, things like that. So I clicked on certifications. That opened up all the different groupings of certs. So we have a SARCA, which is like SAR Basic and task books 1, 2, 3, trackers, etc. We've got those categories that need recerts. We've got K9 certs. We've got FEMA certs. You can basically look. In general is where you're going to have your auto insurance, right? Okay. So let's say you go and auto insurance and the driver's license are something we only added fairly recently to again help out Dee Dee a bit here. So the way the certs work is you had to get to the right grouping, general, auto insurance proof. If you just hover over the ad or edit if you already have one out there, read the note that comes up. It's a little hard here, but it tells you if it's not obvious, it tells you in this case the date that your auto insurance, use the date that your auto insurance policy is effective as the date certified, and the end date of the insurance period as the expiration date. Because how do you put in insurance, what is it? Because it has a certified date and an expiration date. So the help screen, the little hover information. If it's a cert that expires, like first aid or our research, if you hover, it'll say expires in 1 year. It's up to you to figure out what a year is from when you were certified and put that in. It doesn't do it automatically, but we tell you what the expectation is for that cert when you hover, so you understand that. Does that make sense? Okay? And the same with driver's license. That hovering there tells you how to enter your license information. So let's say you want to add that. So you add it. It opens up a very simple little screen. Date certified, date expires. And then when do you want to get that email notification? You can pick how often you want to be bugged about the fact that you're expiring. So it gives you options. And you can click off as many as you want. 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 2 weeks, 1 week expired. If you really want to be nagged, click them all. Okay, but whatever you click in here, and then you just click OK to save it, and then it will show you that cert. Okay, it's that simple.
Are you allowed to upload documents? Do you need that? Because originally they wanted a copy of I was noticing there they don't have.
Well, the driver's license, we consider that confidential information. We do not want to upload driver's licenses here because your driver's license number, that's too personal. Okay, but FEMA certs, rope certs, course, first aid certs, they can be uploaded. There was an image option, if you feel for it, click the image and upload the image. That helps, because when you add a cert, what'll happen is it will go in as being unverified, because you could make up anything. Okay, you still have to send I believe, Dee Dee, you still need us to send you the FEMA certs and certain certs. And so the process to still send us that is good, but to the extent you can add it into VR, that helps Jill verify it. And when she sees that you've added it and it's not verified, she can click on it, she can see your cert, yep, he took it, boom, verified. Okay, so those, that's something doable. We don't require you to put up the image, but you certainly can. Okay, any questions on that? So I would suggest that anything you've done, if you go into your record and we haven't put in, you've turned in your ASARCA 2 book and we don't have it in there for some reason, or ASARCA 3 book, or Tracker 3 book, or whatever, you can put it in. You completed that cert, or you did first aid or whatever, and then we would verify it in the system. Right now, behind the scenes, Jill, Peg, and Heidi are doing all the data entry for this. Okay? So again, you're helping us out by taking on this responsibility yourself. Heidi, did you have anything to add to that?
No.
Okay, cool. Any questions on certs? Because that's something we hadn't asked you to do before, but now we are requesting that you go ahead and do this. The other one that I don't think we've talked about this one at all for people, but on the general tab, and these are things you cannot do on the app, by the way. On the general tab, Dee Dee asked us for this a while ago. Vehicle information. She needs this if you're ever involved in a fire evacuation call out, or a fire roadblock call out, or any of the fire or county mission type call outs. Basically anytime you're going to put in a reimbursement request, it would be a huge help to her if she knew for sure what your vehicles were that you used in search and rescue operations. So personal vehicle registration. Right below it says, enter the vehicle registration, i.e. your license plate number, in this box for your first, and then the second one, the year, make, and model. Enter the year, make, and model of the personal vehicle used. And then if you have a second vehicle that you use sometimes, list that one also.
So if you go to like my dashboard, because you guys can see, you'll see where all that information shows up on that view.
So I'll do that right now. I'm going to go to the member list, using the member list option here. And now, we have a lot of people in the system. It's what, I don't know, 300 people maybe, 250, I don't know, 300, something like that. Well, no, but the good news is all these different tabs, these are the call-out roles, or essentially the units. So if you know that someone's in VSAR ropes, you're going to get just to the small list of who's in the ropes list there. So if I know that Jill is in, she's in VSAR 4x4, I can go to VSAR. I can use VSAR, and see everybody in VSAR. But if I do that and I go down.
Fire observer 2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're right. FOB2. Oops, there it is. Oh, that's a quick way to get to her because she's she's a fire observer now too. FOB2. So now I can go click on Jill's name over here. There's her picture. She's available. She's done some stuff this year already, and this is again this year. And the scale changes, of course. You can see.
Telling me when my first date is going to expire.
Yeah, right down here.
My auto insurance is going to expire.
Yeah.
But if you go up to view.
Yep. That's going to have you drive, wasn't it?
Now you go down and you see personal contacts. If you go down further, I think it shows the vehicle
I'm
information.
having trouble with this stuff.
Yeah, so now
Yeah.
other details.
Down at the bottom.
4x4, winch,
Yeah.
experience, license plate number. So now
Yeah.
they,
Jeep
if I'm out
Rubicon.
there and I'm lost,
They know what.
she's a fire observer.
Yeah, we know the license number too. Yeah, we have so this is all information that can be helpful to the deputies, can be helpful to other searchers, can be helpful to Dee Dee, can be helpful to us in general. And it's just it's a record keeping system really that allows us to store all this data.
You know how important information is to deputies when they do their jobs, right? The more information they have, the better planning and strategy they have. Well, they need information about us.
Right.
Because they're looking out for us.
So, you know, even though you're looking at your own, typically you'd be looking at your own dashboard in your own view, as I just showed you, you can go to the member list and look at anybody you need to see what they have out there. Okay? Okay, a couple other quick things. Those of you that are new, I'm kind of jumping out of order here, but we do have online courses, and those of you that are fairly, you know, that have joined, become certified in the last year know about this, but everybody knows about it because of bloodborne pathogens. And they're all due again now. Most of your bloodborne pathogens are either expired or about to expire, so you'll use the online course to do that, which was one of the links on the right-hand side here, online courses. It's pretty I think you all did it last year, or those that were here. You know, new members haven't, but they've done Academy. So that's another thing you can get to here. So that's really all people-related stuff. As far as missions and trainings and other things, that's typically down here. And we have a calendar. The calendar is color-coded. Color-coded mostly by unit and by call-outs. Everything that's in orange is a real call-out by, you know, for our services. Anything that's in a different color, each unit has their own color. We are green. So like here's I'm not, if I go it's harder to read it, but if I just point to it here. So Friday the 7th, this past Friday, we just had our PAC and fitness test. If I click on that, I can actually see everything about it. Just like when Tim sends out the link for missions, it's the exact same, you know, missions are out here also, the same type of stuff. You can see the information about the event up at the top. If there was an after action report, you'll see, which we don't have an after action report here yet for this one, but that was it just happened Friday, so that's okay. And
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a way to send an email to all those people?
Yes.
Because sometimes I want to contact anybody.
If you're a system user, as a regular member, you can't, but you need to have system user privileges to do it. I don't think you as a member,
Your best option is to get one of Tim's email and copy the.
Yeah. So the question was about email. Can anyone send emails to anybody? And I don't think we have it set to allow, we only have that set so that Jill, myself, Heidi, Don, right now. Yeah. Yeah. But we can, yeah, the system does have email capabilities.
Because normally I just copy
Yeah.
everybody, and
Yeah.
then go back in and take everybody back out. It's not,
Right.
I don't need it.
For emailing, right. Okay, so this is interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, why is it not showing?
Yeah, I'm not sure why this, oh, because I don't have, I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
Sorry, not a nobody. Okay, I need to go. Tim wants us to move along. Yeah, this could go on forever. So anyway, I think you get the idea of the browser, what you can do. Viewing callouts, same thing. You can look at the callout, you can see all the information after the fact.
You can go here and see if you checked out.
I don't know if they can see it. I'm thinking they can't.
No, if you go into your dash,
Oh.
go into your calendar, when you are on your own system.
Oh, you can see,
You can see if you actually checked out.
okay. You can look at your attendance,
Yeah.
and I don't have any on this one, but if I look at,
We
yeah,
have to go into a real one.
a real person.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, so anyway, play with, the key here is get comfortable with what you can do. Don't be afraid to try things and look at what you can see and what you can't see. And that's all on the browser. And the resources page is your best bet to go to learn how to use all this stuff because you're not going to remember what I just said. But anyway, okay?
One question for you. If you forget to check out, which I never do. To check out, what do you have, 8 hours to make that check?
Yes. You have, so there are windows of availability. An event has a start time and an end time. You can check in up to 3 hours before, Heidi? 3 or 4?
4.
I can't- 4 hours ahead of
4.
time. Because of travel time, you can
Right.
get there. And you have up to 6 hours to check out afterwards.
After the time.
After the event closed. Yeah.
Supposedly then.
Yeah, if the event hasn't been closed yet, it could be open for some missions that are multi-day.
Yeah.
They're still open. You can keep on going.
Yeah.
Thanks, I was just asking for
Yep,
somebody.
yep. Somebody else, right? Exactly. He was just asking for somebody else about checking. Okay. So And I wonder if we, I mean, I know we want to get going here. Maybe on the app, maybe we don't even have to show the app because most of you that are using the system, you know the app fairly well. So what I'm going to say, rather than taking the time to do all that, we're going to talk about a couple of things, okay, that are kind of important. And for this one, I might want to go back to the presentation.
It would help, doesn't take any extra time to show the app on there.
Okay. Well, can we go back to the
Well, I think
presentation?
one thing that people have a hard time with is
Where's the-
responding after an update has been sent out. Right?
Because you can't. Where's the presentation?
Or when you
Jen?
want to change your status.
Oh, he closed the window. Oh, it's not up there, Peg.
Okay, he's got it.
So
Yeah, he's got to come.
Yeah, he got it, thanks.
There are other ones besides that, you're trying to respond to an update, you haven't responded yet, you haven't responded yet, and then you have a change status.
Okay, so, and this is probably the most important thing to talk about. I think the other things on the app, you know how to register, or you can figure it out pretty well. You can do the availability. You can see your expiring certs. But the check-in, check-out, this is the part that we really want to try and get people doing right. Number one, a lot of people forget. A lot of us are older. What do you do when you first get home? Do you go to the bathroom? Do you have a drink? Do you check out? Right. So, right. Do you play? Yeah. But whatever, if you need to, put a sticky note somewhere that you will see to remind you to check out. Okay. When you check, the idea is that you, and so just to kind of clarify a couple things, on a call out, when you respond, yes, I can go, you are checked into the event right then and there, which is great if it's an immediate call out like tonight. It's not so great if the call, because you're really not going now. That requires administrative work behind the scenes to fix some of that stuff, okay, which Heidi and I do, and Jill. But what you can do is, if it's a training event, or if it's a future call out, tomorrow morning, or they're calling today for, day. In that case, you will, that morning when you leave for that event, you will check in. Just like you should have checked in for tonight's meeting. Did everyone check in for the meeting tonight? Did anyone not check in for the meeting tonight? I see a smile, Mike. Even those on Zoom. Alan, you can do it.
Yes.
And Heidi, you can do it. I heard you say yes.
Yes.
Now, the good news is, while the event is ongoing, you can check in and fix the time to when you left home. Okay? The fact that you're checking in now is okay. Just adjust it to say, I left at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, whatever.
Yeah, I'm checking in right now at 5 o'clock.
Right. That's okay. Okay. So there is a window for check-in and a window for checkout. This event ends at probably 8:30 tonight on the calendar. So you have until 2:30 in the morning? No, yeah, 2:30 in the morning to check out. Once you miss that,
How late can we not check in?
you can check in up until that window, I believe. But so if you haven't done it yet, do it now.
I can't.
Okay. Why not? Your phone's at home, okay? Anyway, as soon as you get home, check in and then check out. One of the things I want to point out is on the phone itself, and can we quickly attach the phone? It can be confusing. One of the things I've seen through the administrative end of this is a lot of times people check in and check out, and then they're not sure it works, so they do it again. That is bad. That takes admin hours. I have to find those because guess what? You would get credit for 2 missions for Ironman, and now I'm not going to let you do that. I have to audit all that data, and I have to find all those.
There you go.
Okay, so here, Tim just brought up the phone.
I'm gonna get
Minimize all
put
that
the
other
rest of
crap,
this
yeah,
down.
yeah.
There you go.
Okay, cool. So on the phone, he's already logged in. Same login, user ID and password as the browser. Same URL as the browser. Okay, so all the same stuff. Dashboard, the bottom left-hand corner.
Right here.
When you hit the dashboard, that shows you the menu. Okay? Phone call out section, event section, address book section, details section, availability section, miscellaneous, where you can see your expiring certs, etc., things like that. So don't be afraid to look at this. But the check-in, check-out, when you tap on that, Did you just see, you said you just
This
checked
is
it?
Jill's phone.
Oh, this is Jill's phone, okay. So first thing, pay attention to which event you're checking in and out of. Some days there are 5, 6, 7 events out there. Many a time I find stray other people checking into our events and our people checking into GPOSI events. It takes admin work to clean up. Please take an extra second or two and pay attention to which event you're checking in and out of. The second thing is after, so in this case, let's say I'm on Jill's and we'll clean this one up. I'm gonna check, you'll see how right now it says starts at and ends at, if you want to point to that.
Right there.
Because this is the VSAR meeting, starts at and ends at. Some people are confused. They think that's when they checked in and out. No, that's when the event is officially running. That will not change while you're looking at this. The checked in and check out will show below that with those words, checked in at, checked out at. That's what you need to be looking for. When you say checkout, you click on checkout, it gives you a checkout time. If you want to change the time, you touch the time, and depending on, sometimes it's around, I mean, there's different phones show you different options, but they're all pretty obvious. And let's say, now you cannot check out in the future. I can't now say I want to check out at 9:30. But I can change it back to say, oh, I really should have, I drove home, but I stopped somewhere on the way, and I really want to check out at 8:30. I'm going to go ahead and check you out because we can delete it. Yeah. So once I set that, now in that case you click done to, different phones have either a set or a done, so you do want to do that so that it kind of puts it up in the box there, and you kind of see that before you actually check out. You make sure the time is what you want for check in or check out, and then when it looks good, check out. You are checked out from the event. Close. Now in this case, your version is showing it, but sometimes you don't see right away the check in and check out. And so you think you didn't do it, so you do it again. No. Okay? So and other times, and it has a lot to do with the clock, about where we are. Are we in the middle of the event? Is it already ended? Is it not? There's a whole bunch of constraints there. The best thing I can tell you to do, always, is after you do any check-in or any check-out, hit the dashboard, bottom left corner, and then come right back in. You're essentially refreshing the screen. Then it will show you the right data. If it's not looking right or you're not sure, did I really do it? Back out and back in. Not all the way out, just dashboard and back in. Absolutely, we have found to be the best way to give you some clarity as to what's really there. Okay, does that make sense? It's not hard, but it's hugely valuable. If you can get this right, then that records your hours in the system. Your dashboard shows your attendance. The Ironman calculation is already working its way. It has the points assigned to it. It has the hours assigned to it, and all that stuff works well. Okay?
I think maybe we should be concluding,
Yep.
show them the member list. Like if they want,
yeah,
if
yeah.
they want to call Heath Slay,
Right,
they want to call a deputy, how
Yep.
would you find their number or
Right.
their email?
right. So back on it, I click dashboard is basically your home key, if you will. It takes you back to the
Right
home.
here.
Yeah, so bottom left is always. So now, as you scroll down, member list, click on that. You have your phone with you? You do, right?
I do.
Okay, a couple of things. This is a full member list. It's long, really long, because it's all the units and it's all the deputies. There is a filtering on that top.
I counted like 182 or 90 some people
Yeah.
on that list.
So if you click on that little hamburger menu at the top, you can say go to VSAR. And now you're only going to see the VSAR people. And I see Tim Anderson. I want to see, I don't have his number. Here's his call sign, which gives me his VSAR number, not that I need that, his cell phone and his email. I want to call him. It's calling him. I just clicked it and it's calling him. Oh, I had to tell it to call. I had to hit call. Okay, minor detail. Oh, this is his phone. I guess I'm calling on your phone. Is this Jill's phone? Oh.
He's calling.
Oh, you have it on silence? Oh, I gotta. Oh. Oh, you're not available, so you have it muted or something. Anyway, you can see it was calling Tim, but that's how, so you can basically call someone right there. So as I said, that's really helpful as long as you have cell service out on a search, or you need to call the deputy, you need to call someone in another unit that you don't have their number in your address book already. It's just a super simple thing to use to get their email address, their phone number, anything.
You're the first one or leading routine, you need to call Adam, you look up Adam's number here, look up Adam's number.
And I wish Dondi were here, because at the Bell Trail one, when we had the family of 4 that were found in the white van.
Don
Oops.
VSA.
Oh.
Morgan.
Ah, Don's calling. Don just called us.
Through VR.
Through VR, excellent. Dondi, after we were done, she said, I would have called Heath, but I didn't have his number. And I said, yes, you did. And she didn't, and I didn't have a chance to explain it, because I figured she'd see it tonight. And of course, she's on the, hopefully you're watching the video later, Dondi, and you'll see that. Okay, any questions on that?
I have a question, on your call out, when you get the text, email, and or call.
Yep.
Are most people responding to the text with the YNS, or do you?
Oh,
notate-
thank you for bringing that up. I wanted to cover that. I would recommend using the app.
Okay.
You have, okay, so talking about callouts now, you get text first. At the same time you get the text, you're probably getting an email, but you may not see your email that quickly, okay? When you get that text, you have at least 4 minutes before to record a response before the system will say, I haven't heard from you, therefore I need to call you. Okay, so you have a 4-minute window, and sometimes it's a little longer depending on how many are called out, but a 4-minute window. I use that 4 minutes. So I got the text, I grab my phone or my tablet or my computer, whatever is the closest to me, and I go to the app. So on the app, back to the, let's see, in this case I have to go back to this, I think.
You should go in here.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's not it's responding on there. Minor detail. Damn phone. Back to dashboard. Okay, I had to go back to, and so now I'm back on the dashboard. So I'm going to use, because we had a call out tonight, we still have one that's active, send response to call out. Okay, we're still in this call out because it hasn't ended, I mean, it hasn't really ended yet. A couple of minor points here. The first thing is that does confuse some people. Status of the call out completed, the status says completed, and it started at 1839, ended at 1844. That is not the time of the mission. That is the time it took to do the call out. So the call out was completed. In other words, the system successfully texted and called everybody that it was asked to do.
I had Tim, it looks like the mission was completed. Did they find him? And I
no.
explained it's just the call-out process is completed.
Right. So this has nothing to do with the event itself, believe it or not. The event itself is on the calendar, and that will have an end time that we put in when it's over. But
Quick question, estimated time of arrival, minutes.
well, let me cover those, okay? Because I think this is important just to talk about. So the reason I go to the app, number one, is you can see the whole message again here from the text. So in this case, actually, it's the most recent one, which was the update. You can click on can respond, cannot respond, or can respond only as a last resort. If you see up here, not in call out, I'm not sure where it says it, but like up somewhere at the top or something,
Okay.
that means do not reply through text or through this. Either another call out has occurred and you're or the window for replying is over. Do not reply or do not put in any answer if it says not in call out. But if you're in the call out, you'll see the message and the text. And then you can send your first response, and if 2 minutes later or 5 minutes later you change your mind, you went on standby first, and then you said, no, I really can go, you can come in and change on the app, change your response again. Absolutely. You can come back during the open window. The text message is hard. So, and the reason this is better is because it then has, as separate fields, where's the scroll bar in here?
Jill, that's
Oh,
right.
do it over here.
Right, so you wanted to respond, I think you did a standby, and then you wanted to change it, but then there was an update in between there.
Yeah.
And you were kind of responding to the update, and that's why it didn't work for you. So,
Yeah.
we recommend going right to the app and not use the text.
Right.
If you can, because you have better control.
One question I had, it's happened to me before, is the call outs for the next day.
Yep.
I respond, I can't go, then I woke up sick the next
Yep.
morning, so now it's like, it's too late to change it.
Right. So Dave's question has to do with you respond to a call out for the next day, but then something changes. Whether, and you don't know till the next morning. You wake up the next morning sick, or you decide you can go. You cannot do anything in the system. You can check into the event if you're gonna go. So if you had said, no, I'm not going, or I'm on standby, and then you decide you can go, you can still check in even though the system doesn't know that you're going. And if it's important, you can send a quick text to the deputy and just say, hey, I said I'm coming, but I can't. That's your best bet.
My question,
Yeah,
how do I
yeah.
notify?
And-
I have a question on the
Well,
same-
so,
on the
okay,
same lines.
okay.
Let's say you get a call out and you haven't responded yet, and then they come up with an update.
Right.
No, this is where we want you to go instead. Then you try.
Yeah, so Mike's question has to do with when there's a call out and then there's another call out, and you cannot get, the way the VR system works, it's a flaw, but we can't get them fixed it yet. You can only respond to the most recent message, whether it be an update, a stand down, a call out. You cannot, and that's where anything that happens after the fact, you have to revert to a text to the party that you want to communicate. Okay? That's just the way it is. And we've talked to the developer, he's thought about changes, but we don't have it yet.
Hey, can I say something?
Yep,
about this? So this can respond is a yes, cannot respond is a no, can respond, but only as the lesser result, that's standby.
Yep.
And that's really important for me. So there's been times when we haven't had enough people on a call out, and I see who's on standby and call them to see if they're able to go. So whatever you can respond, that standby is also important. And then the other thing is make sure that
Yeah,
you.
well, and that, well, yeah, I was gonna cover it. So two other things, going back to the question about the minutes. Okay, so on the text, you can say why I can go, or, why, and then if you leave a blank, you can put in 60. If you're gonna be an hour away, you would put in 60. Well, here it's a field, so it's a little easier. Estimated time of arrival in minutes. So it doesn't mean 8 o'clock, it means 60 minutes, or 30 minutes, or 90 minutes.
That's what I had.
Yeah, so it's the number of minutes from now that you expect to be able to arrive at the base.
If you say
Okay.
8 o'clock, like 8, that's.
It'll be-
800.
Well,
800
and looking at tonight's or yesterday's, there was one of them, someone had 295 minutes. Okay, so don't do that.
Does the deputy know when we're responding to him who we are, or you need to announce who you are? Or does he have the,
They're using the app, they see who you are. They see it all, yep.
if you're using your phone to text him directly?
Yep. Oh, to text them directly, no, if you text directly. No. But anything done through VR will be recorded on the view call-out screen. And then that notes field down here, that's where you can put in a very short thing, like I know you've done it before, in flag, or coming from flag, so that kind of lets them know that, hey, you're not gonna be there right away. I know Backcountry often puts in yard because they have a truck that they drive from the yard, so they put in the response, yard, or private vehicle, so they know how they're going. So you can use it as a tool, carpooling with Jerry, or carpooling with so-and-so, if you think that's important, okay? We also do use this to help each other carpool. A lot of times, 5 minutes after I've said yes, I'll start getting a call from Alan or Dave or, someone that lives in Cottonwood and say, hey, you guys want to, you want to carpool. So the app is a little bit easier than the text. The text, you can do all that, but you have to know the format. And the text doesn't tell you if the call out is still active. That's the key. So the app does. So I recommend getting in the habit of using the app to do that. And then while you're on the app, after you've done your response, go back to the dashboard, and now you can say recent call outs. You can now see who else is going right on the app, because you had to come here anyway, right? So now on the recent call outs, there's the Boynton.
second one down.
It's the second one down because this top one says update on it. You'll see how there's an update here, right? That's the one, okay. So here's the initial one. So if I click on that, yes, it showed me 12 people could go. And now, again, I've got the hamburger menu that lets me choose the different groupings. But in this case, if I just look down the list, this is where you're going to see, I'm going to see if any of them have the time. Oh, the time is on the right-hand side. So Peg Cook is still 130 minutes out. I think she put in a time because it still has 130 minutes. So at the time, we saw her at 295 minutes. So obviously it was.
From the hamburger, so they see
Oh,
who's
yeah.
going
So the hamburger,
right up here.
yeah, up there at the top. Now you can select it by the statuses. Show me only those who can go, can respond. Now I see just the responders. One quirk about the system, some of us are listed 2, 3, 4 times. because we're in different roles, okay? And by role, I mean Jill is now in FOB too. Mike and Don are in mountain bike, 4x4 unit. But we're all, and so that's kind of the first part. So, VSAR 4x4, so it lists, and even, so showing the can respond. So Dan, basically you look down the list and they're kind of grouped together like that.
On every call out, I look who responds and I see, is there people there that know the area? Like it's Robert's Roost, is there someone there that's been there before?
Yeah.
And if there's not, then I look to find someone or, add people on standby. So I look at this all the time to make sure.
And the deputy does too. The deputy is looking all the time, and they love the fact that within a couple minutes of issuing the call out, they already know, hey, I got 8 people coming, I'm good. Or shoot, I only have 1 coming. Sometimes they'll decide they need to call out another unit. They'll do the call out and they're not getting any responses. They're not getting any yeses. So they go, okay, I'm going to call out, YCSRT 4x4 and see if they can do it, or I'm going to call out Backcountry, or I'm going to, call out someone else. So this is an incredibly effective system now compared to what we used to do. But just be aware of those couple of things about how to use it. So responding to call outs on the app, viewing the call outs on the app, checking in and checking out. That's what you're using the app for all the time. Get really comfortable with it. Any questions on that? You can register on the app. And so let's just talk briefly about those next day call outs, because those are the toughest ones. What we try and do, so we get a call out often at about 6 o'clock at night that says, okay, we're going to meet tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. at Bloody Basin Road, or some god-awful place, which we often go to. And you say, yes, I can go. First of all, make sure when you get a text, read the whole damn message. I can't tell you how many people get a call out and they say yes, and they get in the car and they leave. Trust me, it has happened many times. We've had people arrive and then call, where is everybody? It's tomorrow morning. Oh shit. Okay, read the whole message. And that's where the app is a little bit easier. Again, okay? It's happened way too many times. Wrong location. Black Canyon. We've had people drive down to Black Canyon City instead of going to Black Canyon Trail because they didn't read the next word that said in Cottonwood. So read the whole message. App helps you do that, okay? I was going to say something else about that after that. I forgot what it was. Gone. Oh, well. Where was I headed with that? Where was I headed with that, Heidi? Do you know?
I'm thinking, I'm working on it.
No, I can't. I had something else in mind and I got waylaid. Well, you get the message.
Oh, you were talking about if you get the call for a future event.
Next day. Thank you. Next day call out. Okay. So you got the call out and it's for tomorrow morning. And so you said, yes, I could go. The system checked you in. One of the best things you can do, best for us.
Yeah, best for us.
Best for us. Immediately check out. Because if you go into check-in, check-out at that time, you're going to see it checked you. Let's say you answered it at 16, at 18:15, right? 6:15 at night. So 18, and it's all military clock we use here. So you're checked in at 18:15, and you said yes, and you know it's for tomorrow morning. Just go in and check out right away. That at least cuts out your time, and it opens up your check-in for the next morning. If you don't do that, what happens the next morning, if we haven't done anything behind the scenes, you go to check in the morning, and all you can do is check out because you checked in last night. It's confusing.
So Peg, the deputy can still see how many are coming.
The deputy does not use the check-in, check-out. The deputy is using the call-outs.
But if they check out, they see who signed into the call and who's coming for tomorrow, right?
They don't even, I asked Adam, he said he doesn't even look at the event. He only looks at the view call-outs.
But he needs to know how many people are coming.
Yeah, he gets that from the call-out, not from
From the call out.
The call-out says 12
The
people.
call out module.
Yeah, the view call-outs as opposed to, so view call-outs is different than the events. The events are what's on the calendar, what you're checking in and checking out of. The call-outs are what you're responding to with a yes or a no or a standby. Yeah. Okay? So just but worst case on that next day, which we do get a lot of those, or the multi-day fire evacs and things like that. I try at night, or Heidi tries to at night, go in and clean up and delete out your entries so that you can check in the next morning. Okay? But just be aware of that. Okay, any other questions on that? Again, practice, explore, don't be afraid of the app, or don't be afraid of the browser. Okay. And as a reminder, very last screen, where's your,
You want to go back to the, okay.
yeah, back to the,
So let's stop this share. And let's start
anything
here.
else, Heidi, from you?
Just if anybody still needs some additional help, don't hesitate to call, email, whatever.
Yep, Heidi, me, yep. Yeah, so please, computers are easy for some people and not so easy for others. Don't feel embarrassed. If you need help, ask.
Please.
Please, because we want to help you get this right. And again, I think the more you do it, the easier it gets. You got to remember though. So everybody, please do something to remind you, and keep in mind the different terminology. You sign in and out on the paper roster, still required. And on that paper roster, you always sign in and out on the half-hour increments, never on 15-minute or 2-minute increments, always half-hour increments, rounded to the, so if you left at 6:15, sign in at 6 o'clock or 6:30, pick whichever one you want. Same with, and that's on the sign-in paper. The check-in and check-out, it's when you leave home and when you get home. Doesn't matter the half hour or not, whatever time it is. If you went somewhere on the way or you went somewhere on the way home, please adjust it to reflect your true time. Those records are critical for DD and command staff, especially for trainings that are being used by the county now to really reflect the trainings that we've done and the missions we're on. Okay, so everyone's going to check in and out if they haven't done so already. Check out when you get home, and you're going to sign out before you leave. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. So, thank you very much, Peg and Jill, for putting it together, and Heidi for making the system work for us. And now you're going to make the system work for us. Okay. Okay. So let's we'll call the meeting adjourned for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We'll call the meeting off. Thank you. Check out when you get home.